Thank you, Pet. Try again. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so yes, I think Klaus has very eloquently explained what happened during those 2 years before, as we were waiting for the JWST launch. So as Pedro said, I'm now in part-time in Bern, but the reason why I'm speaking to you about this is because before, I was actually the European Space Agency project scientist for Webb, and so I was really involved uh, in many activities, especially outreach in Europe. All the production that you've seen came out from our shop out of Baltimore in close collaboration with our colleagues at STSTI. So I think you just heard the first image unveiling was an amazing success. So I'm supposed to look at lesson learned, and I would say, well, I can only look back and say why it was such a success. The first thing, well, we have a great observatory, so that's not listed there, but that's the first requirement. But the extensive preparation, I think, was because, as Klaus mentioned, we started selecting targets or proposing targets 2 years before the launch date. And we did extensive work on possibilities. And at that time, at the very beginning, we stayed away from iconic Hubble targets because we didn't know how good the quality of JWST was, and we didn't want to risk a direct comparison. So we stayed far away. And then, you know, as we saw the amazing quality, then I'm so glad to see the pillar of creation done again, because we debated that extensively whether to include it or not. The extensive preparation also allowed us to elaborate the story, because everything connected to keeping the public in tune with what was happening with JWST was telling the story. Think of the story to say. And this was done in collaboration, you know, mainly driven by NASA. STSTI was part of it, Canadian Space Agency too. It was really a wonderful example of international collaboration, as the entire JWST mission has been. So I think that this is another success story that has to be mentioned in the future. Every time we think of building big space missions, do it together, because you go farther than doing it alone. Of course, the space agencies also bring immense resources and immense networking abilities. And so this is huge. And because of that reach, we were actually able to reach the world. Again, an institution alone, you know, cannot do it. And of course, a bit of luck, because when we saw an image like this that went completely viral, this was a lucky shot. Nobody was expecting it. I remember being in the conversation within ESA on whether or not to put the camera on the rock. And the debate was, well, it's costly. Do we want to do that? It has technical complications. And everybody said, yeah, but it's worth it, because otherwise we will have no idea if this thing even, you know, went. And so it was done. And now, so that you know, basically every rocket has a camera because of this. So what will inspire the world? Just thinking a little bit about the future. I think big science will inspire the world. And I'm really looking forward to hear the responsibility to all that you will speak to in the next, because I think, you know, we will be exactly on the same page. I think what we heard today is amazing, but it is just the first step. You know, doing detailed work on individual objects. I think we are waiting for that revolutionary across the board discovery that will write the book. And that point, you know, at that point, the universe will do 200 million impressions again, like we did for the first images. So good luck to all of you to continue analyzing the data. And just as I'm doing my bit in Bern, because some of the conversation about the early universe will continue in 2 weeks. So some of you are actually involved in this, and we'll try to put together the history of the first billion years. So stay tuned on this, and thank you.